Public pools are the worst thing since my ex-girlfriend. And like my ex-girlfriend, public pools are disgusting, riddled with disease, and used by everyone. And I hate them with all my being. Here's a rundown for pretty much every public pool out there. So you just got done paying for entry and you're heading towards the change rooms. You used your student card to get a discount even though you've given up on your dreams and dropped out of college years ago. And you're feeling pretty good about those few bucks you saved. Now what's the first thing greeting you when you enter the change rooms? That's right. Old naked people. Usually showering, maybe just hanging out. Doesn't matter what they're doing. Point is that they're always there. Now personally, I'm glad that there are people out there this confident. It's great for them. Unfortunately, I still don't really want to see that. So now you gotta avoid looking at wrinkly naked men when you're changing. And I'd also recommend avoiding eye contact because you'd think it's an ice cream social with how willing they are to strike up a conversation. Oh, also, be sure to watch where you step because showers, swimming pools, and change rooms are the 3 top places where athletes' foot is spread. Hopefully, by this point you've suited up without contracting a cheap hooker's worth of diseases because you still haven't entered the main pool room yet. You'll know you have when your eyes start watering from the ridiculous amount of chemicals in the air and water, and unless you're used to strong cleaners, you'll probably need to take a bit of time to adapt. Also, as a side note, that smell is not actually chlorine. When chlorine and body oils, sweat, or urine mix, they create chemical compounds called chloramines. So the more a pool smells, the filthier it is. Anyway, before you even think about entering the water, you must learn about the 3 main groups of people at the pool. The first types are the hardcore swimmers that are probably training for the Olympics. Be careful with these people, because if you get in their way, they will go right through you and probably break a few bones. The second type of people are the old people, wearing clothing this time, thankfully. They'll probably be hanging around talking, maybe doing some exercise. They're pretty harmless and try not to hurt them. Now, if you listen real closely, you may have noticed a loud, high-pitched sound causing your ears to bleed this entire time. This is our last group, the children. Children are mobile germ factories whose sole purpose is to shit, vomit, and piss in the pool as much as possible. Avoid them at all costs. Now, as long as you keep that in mind, you're ready to enter the water. Success, right? Well, it is if you like cholera. This CDC study found that, on average, each swimmer adds about 0.14 grams of fecal matter to a swimming pool. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot. That's because it's not. It's roughly a quarter of a paperclip, or a 1/2,000,000th of a Dan DeVito. But here's the thing. If 1,000 people enter the pool in a day, that's roughly 1/3 of a pound each day. And you better hope that's all getting filtered out before you have an additional third getting added the next day. And that's just added residue. Sometimes people just up and shit in the pool. An incident like that, as well as someone vomiting in the pool, are commonly referred to as pool foulings in the industry. And just how often do pool foulings happen? Well, I called a few pools and asked, and the general consensus was...
About once a week?
Well, that's fucking gross. That is fucking gross, isn't it? Well, that's just the cherry on top of the fecal contamination sundae. Now, you might be wondering why pool foulings only include fecal matter and vomit, and, not urination. Well, that's because pools being filled with urine is pretty much the norm. And honestly, we as a species aren't allowed to be upset about peeing pools, because everyone's done it. You've done it, your mom's done it, Abigail, who left me in the 8th grade and took a piece of me with her, she's done it. Even I've done it. I'm not proud of it, but I can't lie. The unfortunate thing is, all that urine doesn't just disappear. Remember the chloramines I mentioned earlier? They stick around. You know how if you open your eyes underwater, they get bloodshot? That's caused by them. Yeah, that's right. It's not caused by chlorine. It's caused by urine. On second thought, maybe the people soup of chemicals, urine, fecal matter, hair, oils, blood, skin, sweat, and an impressive amount of used Band-Aids isn't the best place to swim. Hey, wait, what about the hot tub? I mean, it's smaller, so it should be easier to keep clean, and heat kills germs, doesn't it? Should be fine, right? 95% of tested tubes contained bacteria found in feces. 81% of test tubes were infected with fungi, and 34% contaminated with the deadly Staphylococcus bacteria. Oh, so they're just smaller, warmer portions of people soup. Isn't that wonderful? Also, I like to note that the CDC goes out of their way to say, don't swallow hot tub water or even get it in your mouth. Which is interesting, since their page for swimming pools only says, don't swallow the water. I guess hot tubs are a little bit worse. Have I mentioned that most of this grime is preventable? Just showering before you get into the water, as well as not shitting everywhere, can prevent most of, if not all, fecal contamination. Not urinating in the pool can also help the pool remain urine-free. Also, either invest in some waterproof band-aids or don't go swimming in the pool with one on because they will fall off and float around, ruining everyone's day it comes in contact with. But of course, nobody will do any of those things because they all require at least an ounce of respect for the people around them, and nobody has time for that anymore. You know what? I hope you selfish fucks die from cholera or E. coli, wherever else you catch in that cesspool of a people soup you created for yourselves.
We are sorry to keep you waiting. All our agents are busy. Please hold, and your call will be answered as soon as possible. You are second in the queue.